Well, hello. We meet again this early morning. Happy Monday to you all. And welcome to our special report of the launch of Satellite Republik Indonesia, or SATRIA-1, satellite of the Republic of Indonesia. I'm Audrey Toyo.
Hi and good morning. I am Aisha Fabian. Yes, as you said, Audrey, today TVR's World Special Report will take you to see live the launch of SATRIA-1 from Cape Canaveral, Florida, United States at around 6 p.m. local time there. And as we are 11 hours ahead, this is very early in the morning. Indeed. Jakarta time. It will be around 5 a.m. Jakarta time.
And this is absolutely exciting. The launch of SATRIA-1, Aisha, will be a historical event, momentous event for Indonesia. It is our very first internet satellite.
Yes, that is correct. And it is said to be the biggest internet satellite in Indonesia, and it's top 5 in the world.
Wow,
yep.
That's amazing.
With 150 Gbps, and Satellite-1 Indonesia will be launched into orbit using SpaceX plasma electric fuel rockets.
Yes, also later we will be joined by reporter Suhavits Tadore from TVR World, who will be reporting live from Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, where the Ministry of Telecommunication and Informatics held a live viewing event for this launch. Suhavits will also be speaking to some of the top officers there to get insights on the event.
So, shall we just go straight to Zulhafidz to see the live from Taman Mini Indonesia Indah? And together we will be witnessing the historical moment for our country as well for the launch for SATRIA-1 satellite. Zulhafidz.
Hello, Zulhafidz. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. Very good morning. I'm doing great here, Audrey and Aisha. I'm currently here at the enchanting and at the vibrant Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, as we gather today here at the Taman Mini Indonesia Indah to witness a historic event. In just a few minutes, I believe here at around 5 a.m. local time or Jakarta time today, we're gonna witness the launch of Satellite Republik Indonesia, or SATRIA-1, will illuminate the night sky in the United States and uniting us in pride and also in awe, I believe. And Audrey and Aisha, currently the situation here at the Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, people are gathering at the Sky World here at the Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, in particular at the planetarium. So we're not allowed to film at the planetarium here at the Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, but the atmosphere here is electric. Friends and families, and also I saw students from Jakarta and also the space enthusiasts have come together to witness the launch of SATRIA-1, or Satellite Republik Indonesia, to watch this monumental event. I believe, as I mentioned earlier, it's such a historic event to happen this morning, or Monday, June the 19th, 2023. And also, there's, imagine the possibilities, I believe, the SATRIA-1 or Satellite Republik Indonesia that will connect, or, will connect us from across Indonesia. And I believe Indonesia will be connected because of the launch of SATRIA-1 or Satellite Republik Indonesia. And also, this is such a thrilling moment, or such a thrilling situation for us, I believe, to witness the launch of SATRIA-1 right here at Taman Mini Indonesia Indah is truly special for me in particular, and also it brings us together and as a community, and we are excited for the positive changes it will bring to our lives, and all people, even all parties are already in the planetarium here at the Taman Mini Indonesia Indah. And at 5 a.m., as I mentioned earlier, the event will be commenced shortly. Aisha and Audrey will keep you updated shortly on the launching of SATRIA-1 or Satellite or Republic Indonesia. Back to you now, Audrey, Aisha.
Thank you so Well, that is great. Thank you so much, Sohavitz, for your report. And Sohavitz, you will be back, I believe, later on during the day for interviews, right, with some experts. So we are definitely looking forward to that.
Okay, now, the Indonesian government will launch a multifunction satellite called Indonesia Raya-1 or SMF. SATRIA-1 on Sunday U.S. time at the NASA's rocket launch site in Cape Canaveral, Florida, United States. And the following is the profile of the satellite. The Satellite Nusantara-3 and manufactured by Thales Alenia Space of France will be launched using Falcon 9, a rocket made by SpaceX. Expected to start operating later this year and runs for 15 years. And it is the biggest internet satellite in Asia with capacity of 150 Gbps.
And as well, the satellite has its functions to reach 150,000 public services, including 93,000 schools and Islamic boarding schools. It will support remote learning and computer-based examination tests, give internet access to public health centers, hospital, and security points in remote areas, and it will reach more than administrative areas in villages and regencies. The Indonesian government is ready to launch the SATRIA-1 satellite to provide high-speed internet connections throughout Indonesia. Take a look.
Preparations ahead of the launch of the SATRIA satellite today or June 18 at Cape Canaveral, Florida, US have been on schedule. All preparations have been on track. All pre-launch steps had been conducted as planned. Indonesia launched SATRIA satellite as the government wants to provide internet access in Indonesia, especially for the remote and less developed areas. In short, the government wants to provide internet access anywhere in Indonesia. Satellite technology will allow internet access in the next 10 years without using fiber optical technology. The satellite SATRIA-1 will have significant benefits for communities in remote and less developed areas in Indonesia. The SATRIA-1 satellite should have people working in the education sector, the health service facilities like Puskesmas, local government office, and the Indonesian Army, as well as the National Police. SATRIA-1 is a joint project between the Indonesian government and business entities. Danudirja reporting from Orlando, Florida, United States.
So that's it, the profile and the function from satellite SATRIA-1 that will be launched today. So ahead of the launching of satellite SATRIA-1 in Florida, the United States of America, Acting Executive Director of Accessibility of Telecommunication and Information Agency, or BACTI, of the Communication and Informatics Ministry, Arif Trihardianto, said the rocket launching was still on schedule. So here are the complete remarks along with previously recorded statements from other senior officials ahead of SATRIA-1 launch.
Ketahui bahwa SATRIA-1 akan diluncurkan ke orbit dengan roket Falcon 9 ya, milik Space Exploration Technologies Corporation atau yang kita kenal dengan SpaceX dari Cape Canaveral, Florida, Amerika Serikat. Kominfo dan PT Satria Nusantara 3 atau SNT, Satelit Nusantara 3 atau SNT telah menetapkan SpaceX ini sebagai mitra untuk menyediakan layanan peluncuran bagi SATRIA-1 di fasilitas mereka di Florida. SATRIA-1 ini dibangun oleh Thales Alenia Space atau TAS Prancis menggunakan platform Space Bus Neo dan butuh waktu 17 hari untuk mengangkut Satria-1 ini dengan kapal kargo Nordik dari Perancis menuju Cape Canaveral melalui jalur laut. SpaceX telah mengumumkan bahwa jadwal peluncuran satelit direncanakan pada tanggal 18 Juni 2023 pukul 18.04 waktu setempat atau 19 Juni 2003 pukul 5.04 waktu Indonesia Barat. Sampai dengan saat ini dapat kami sampaikan bahwa jadwal tersebut masih on schedule atau belum ada indikasi untuk bergeser, dan kita sangat berharap dalam detik demi detik ke depan semua ini, terutama cuaca, akan tetap kondusif untuk peluncuran dapat dilaksanakan sesuai jadwalnya. Sebagaimana telah disampaikan juga bahwa Satria ini merupakan satelit multifungsi milik pemerintah Republik Indonesia berteknologi Very High Throughput Satellite atau FHTS yang diharapkan dapat menyalurkan internet dengan kapasitas setara dengan 150 GB per second. Satelit ini akan menjadi yang terbesar di Asia atau nomor 5 di dunia dari sisi kapasitas untuk kelas di atas 100 GB. Kapasitas yang besar ini akan diperuntukkan untuk mengatasi kesenjangan digital di wilayah-wilayah pelosok terdepan, terluar, dan tertinggal atau yang kita kenal dengan 3T di tanah air yang tidak dapat terjangkau dengan jaringan telekomunikasi terestrial seperti BTS, microwave link maupun serat optik. Infrastruktur satelit ini merupakan program yang sangat strategis karena telah dimasukkan dalam daftar proyek strategis nasional sebagaimana tercantum dalam Peraturan Presiden Nomor 56 Tahun 2018 tentang percepatan pelaksanaan proyek strategis nasional. Meskipun kita sangat bangga dan bahagia dengan makin dekatnya peluncuran satelit, namun kita juga harus tetap menjaga agar masyarakat memahami dengan betul, ya, dengan sebenar-benarnya bahwa satelit Satria ini tidak serta-merta dapat melayani kebutuhan internet dalam waktu 1 atau 2 hari ini. Ya. Masih ada beberapa tahap persiapan dan penyetelan yang harus dilakukan agar Satria-1 ini dapat sepenuhnya beroperasi yang nantinya akan diperkirakan pada akhir tahun 2003 atau awal 2024. Hari ini kita mohon doa pada seluruh masyarakat Indonesia agar Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa meridhoi perjuangan kita untuk menyejahterakan rakyat Indonesia melalui jalan transformasi digital ini. Semoga Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala memberikan kelancaran dan terang budi bagi semua yang terlibat dalam karya besar ini. Demikian yang bisa kami sampaikan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I think the significance of this project is very massive in Indonesia right now. As we know that we are in the archipelago country, right? We have almost 17,000 islands right now that need more connectivity on internet side. And we as a government right now, we have already been pushing to spread all the internet connectivity around Indonesia, especially in the rural area. So right now, I think in Satria project is going to be impacting a lot to the people in Indonesia, especially in the borderline and in the island across Indonesia. But I think it's going to be great for Indonesia. For right now, we're still focusing on the Satria-1. So in our perspective right now, in government side, Satria-2 is already in our roadmap. We need around 600 until 1 terabyte Gbps capacity to serve around 150,000 premises. But right now, we need to be rationalistic. So the capacity that we have right now, maybe we can only serve around 50,000 right now, and then after that we need to add on more capacity to the satellite side.
Yeah, so far the preparation for the SATRIA-1 launch, for tomorrow launch, everything is in the nominal condition. Right now, the spacecraft and the rocket is already integrated, and now it's located in the Space X hangar launch pad 40. And by tonight at 23:20, it's going to be a race, vertical race for all of the spacecraft and the rocket. And then after that, it's everything is ready for launch tomorrow.
Excellent.
Actually, the coverage is now is covering all of over Indonesia, and in terms of the coverage, since it's already covered. For the future, I think what we need is another capacity of the satellite. Whether we need to launch another satellite or another technology will come up to optimize the existing satellite capacity.
Dan tentunya kami dari perwakilan Republik Indonesia yang berada di Amerika Serikat ini, pertama tentunya sangat menyambut baik dan juga ikut senang dan berbangga, insya Allah peluncuran dari satelit Satria-1 ini semoga bisa berhasil dengan baik, karena tadi sempat disampaikan oleh Pak Arief, besok memang adalah saat-saat yang kita nanti, tapi saat bersama juga kita berdebar-debar, karena masih ada tahapannya, dan insya Allah ini akan bisa beroperasi dengan baik pada akhir Desember 2023 atau awal Januari 2024. Dan ini adalah suatu langkah dari pemerintah Indonesia yang memang membuat kesetaraan di infrastruktur digital ekonomi kita juga. Karena kalau kita lihat, kalau saya boleh sharing sedikit, kebetulan belum berapa lama saya mendapatkan report dari Temasek, Google dan Bain pada tahun 2022 kemarin yang melakukan report bahwa digital ekonomi kita pada saat ini tahun 2022 nilainya 77 miliar dolar. Tapi pada tahun 2025 akan mencapai 130 miliar dolar, yang dimana itu adalah 43% dari total nilai digital ekonomi di ASEAN. Nah, dengan adanya Satria-1 ini, tentunya ini akan mengakselerasi atau mempercepat pertumbuhan digital ekonomi kita yang berdampak sangat besar, tentunya tidak hanya dari segi ekonomi itu sendiri, tapi juga dari segi penciptaan lapangan pekerjaan, penciptaan talenta yang sangat bergantung kepada digital ekonomi, dan juga pemanfaatan yang paling penting dari usaha kecil menengah kita yang memang akan terakselerasi dan akan mencapai teradopsi di dalam digital ekonomi kita. Dan tentunya dengan adanya Satria-1 ini, selain akan memberikan jangkauan yang sangat-sangat masif di daerah-daerah yang selama ini mungkin belum terjangkau atau belum maksimal, akan terjangkau secara lebih baik termasuk di perbatasan kita. Jadi seperti yang tadi disampaikan oleh Pak Arief, tertinggal, terluar dan terdepan itu akan tercapai. Dan satu hal lagi, kalau saya lihat juga ini akan membantu meningkatkan sumber daya manusia kita. Karena dengan begini sektor pendidikan kita yang dilakukan secara virtual akan bisa lebih tercapai dengan baik, dengan cepat di daerah-daerah yang memang belum terjangkau secara maksimal. Jadi dari segi bukan hanya dari segi keamanan maupun dari segi ekonomi, tapi juga segi pendidikan pun akan bisa lebih terakselerasi dengan baik. Jadi manfaat dari Satria-1 ini sangat-sangat luar biasa dan ini mencakup hampir semua hal atau kehidupan yang ada di masyarakat kita dan juga bangsa Indonesia yang kita cintai ini.
Okay, then before we have seen kind of like the commentaries from experts as well as ministers on the excitement of the launch of SATRIA-1 satellite. What did you think about that,
Yes,
Aisha?
like we heard from the spokesperson, the Satria project will have a huge positive impact for Indonesia, and we are waiting for the launch that will be happening anytime soon, as you can see the live visual there.
True. Yes, as you said, anytime soon now, Aisha, we can see that the Falcon 9 rocket is ready, and there's steam coming out of it, which I suppose that it is ready, almost ready for takeoff.
Yes, though it is scheduled in anytime soon.
I think the original schedule was around
6:04 US time. But if you can also see, there's the countdown that they will have the loading begins around this hour for the RP-1 rocket grade. Yes.
And the Falcon 9 rocket is the world's first orbital class reusable rocket, Aisha. It is reliable and safe for people as well as payloads to go into Earth orbit and beyond.
And do you know that this launch for Satria-1 from Indonesia has been like the talk to be a benchmark that set up the benchmark that any satellites in the world after this is already in queue for taking off their satellites with Falcon 9 as well.
Yes, being the number 5th biggest in capacity and now the biggest in Asia, I think that's definitely a momentous moment for Indonesia. And we are most definitely excited to see where this will take us next, right?
Yes.
In terms of like our innovations. And I think we are kind of like witnessing history today, Aisha, right?
Yes, obviously, because like maybe we didn't think about that before, like to able to launch our own satellite from Indonesia, and it will have a great impact, and it's actually one of the president goal to provide the high internet access, not only for us who lives in the big city, but also at the all around Indonesia.
All around, yes. Indeed.
Okay. So the rocket will be launched in about just a couple of minutes. There's the countdown there, if you can see, Audrey.
It is
on
under 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And fun fact, yes. Yeah, like you said, I think we're just so excited.
Yeah, we are very excited, and it gives me goosebumps already.
Witnessing this, Aisha, is I think something that none of us in Indonesia probably ever even thought in the last couple of years that we would be watching this with our own eyes.
Yeah, especially when you were a child, you might dreamt about becoming an astronaut.
Or like all child, that's all children do.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Like how about it is like being in a rocket or like learning about space, and this is it. Like us Indonesians should be very, very proud for this historical moments.
Yes, and the clock shows just under 1 minute until the Satria-1 satellite will launch. And this is in collaboration and working together as well with SpaceX as well as the Falcon 9 rocket. And the transport from France to Cape Canaveral, Florida also took, I believe, like 17 days, which it's quite a long time for transfer. But we see it is actually under 30 seconds now, Aisha.
Okay, so shall we begin the countdown? Because before the launch today, they have already done the pre-launch.
Yes, and now it's just 8 seconds. 7, 6,
6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
And this is it, the lift-off. Go Falcon T Griffin.
Wow, that is incredible, Aisha. We are truly witnessing a historical moment. We can see that the liftoff has begun.
I think everybody is excited as Mr. Rosan Ruslani, the Republic of Indonesia ambassador to the U.S., also said on his remarks that we hope that the launch of the satellite will go smoothly, and we are so excited and anxious at the same time. Yes, we are too here at the studio.
Yes, and I think those are the right words to discuss it.
And it says the Falcon 9 is moving faster than expected. The speed of sound, and it has passed through.
Or probably the speed of light. I believe we should really have some music here, Aisha, just to accompany this, because this in itself, watching and witnessing this with our own eyes, it's almost surreal. However, we are most definitely very glad that this is a momentous moment for Indonesia.
So here, the separate from the second stage after the first stage has been lifted off. Even though the satellite launch is happening today, Audrey, but we are planning to have a fully operated satellite of SATRIA-1 by the end of this year.
Coming up in about 10 seconds.
Main engine cut off.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC startup.
So you heard the callouts there, and you can see on your screen in this great dual view that we have that the MVAC engine on our second stage has ignited. Now, this is the first of 2 second stage burns that we're tracking for this mission. And the first stage on the left-hand side of your screen is coming back to land on our drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas. Now, we are also expecting fairing deployment.
Both vehicles are on nominal trajectories.
With that, we know that both vehicles are headed in the right direction. And as I was describing earlier, we are expecting fairing separation in just about 5 seconds.
Fairing separation confirmed.
As Soumya mentioned earlier, reusability is part of our secret sauce here at SpaceX. So with that confirmation of fairing separation, we know that both of those are coming home again. The first, or one of them, is flying
Acquisition of signal Bermuda.
for the 7th time and the other for its 9th.
It's now T+3 minutes and 55 seconds into today's mission, and we have a great view of stage 1 on the left and stage 2 on the right. In order to complete today's landing, the first stage has 2 more burns left. Next up will be the entry burn, where 3 of the Merlin engines on the first stage will reignite, and this will help slow down the F9 first stage as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. That entry burn should start in about 2-ish minutes from now and will last about 20 seconds. You can see 2 of the 4 hypersonic grid fins that are on that are positioned near the base of the inner stage on the booster. And stage 1 is currently using nothing but the grid fins for steering as it's returning back to Earth. You can also see those little puffs of gas. Those are nitrogen gas bursts for attitude control, and they also help orient the rocket on its way back down. And some really awesome views of planet Earth behind stage 2. And again, that entry burn on the first stage coming up in about a minute.
Both vehicles are on nominal trajectories.
Like I promised, we have great views of Earth behind MVAC and behind the first stage as it's coming back down to Earth.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
You can see that 3 of those engines have now relit engines 1, 5, and 9 for the entry burn. It's about 20 seconds for this burn.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Now, with confirmation of entry burn shutdown, we have one last burn before the first stage attempts to land on our drone ship, and
Stage 1 FTS has saved.
And that is the landing burn. During the first stage landing burn, a single Merlin engine, E9, will relight and slow the vehicle down for its landing attempt on our drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas. As a reminder, the booster supporting today's mission has now flown for its 12th time, having previously supported CRS-22, Crew 3 and Crew 4, Turksat 5B, CRS-25, Eutelsat Hotbird 13G, O3B mPOWER, and 4 Starlink missions. We'll also be coming up on SECO-1 or second engine cutoff 1 in about 30 seconds from now.
Stage 1 transonic. Stage 2 FTS is saved.
You can see that MVAC continuing to glow bright orange until SECO-1.
Nominal orbit insertion.
MVAC shutdown.
Great callouts for SECO-1 and nominal orbital
Stage 1 landing
insertion.
burn.
Expected loss of signal, Cape Canaveral.
There's that view of landing burn.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And a great view of landing. This landing marks the 12th successful landing for this particular booster and marks our 201st overall successful recovery of an orbital class rocket. In addition to landing with confirmation of successful second engine cutoff and good orbit, we are going into a coast phase up until the second relight of our MVAC engine on the second stage, which will be followed by payload deploy. Till then, sit tight and we'll see you back here at the T plus 27 minute mark.
So that was it, Audrey. What a
Wow.
oh wow! It's always magnificent to see the space, and then you also said that they actually promised to give us a very nice view from up there to Earth, right? As we heard before, and I felt like I was being in a sci-fi movie.
Oh, me too. I feel it's like you feel like you are also in the rocket, being launched into space.
Yeah. And so we just witnessed the first and the second stage separation. That's how it actually works. And the first stage also have landed successfully back on Earth. And now to have a more in-depth about SATRIA-1, the Republic Indonesia satellite, it's scheduled for launch on June 18th, which is happening now. And following its launch from the US, the satellite is expected to be fully taped in early 2024.
Acting Minister for Communication and Informatics Mahfud MD in a press conference on Tuesday said that a satellite will provide internet access for regions without fiber optics.
Akses internet yang disediakan oleh SATRIA-1 ini akan memberikan manfaat yang signifikan bagi masyarakat di lokasi layanan publik yang belum memiliki akses atau mengalami kualitas internet yang belum memadai. Prioritas utama penerima akses internet dari strata 1 adalah sektor pendidikan, fasilitas layanan kesehatan, kantor pemerintah daerah, serta TNI dan Polri.
The full potential of SATRIA-1 will come to the fore from 2024 onwards, as the satellite needs to complete several testing and trial sequences, according to President Director of Pacific Satellite Nusantara, Adi Rahman Adiwoso.
Itu kita butuh 145 hari, maka dari itu dari Juni peluncuran tanggal 19 sampai di tempat orbit itu November, kita akan tes satelitnya dulu dan kita akan tes seluruh sistemnya sehingga bisa dipermanfaatkan kira-kira pada akhir bulan Desember ini dan bisa siap untuk dimanfaatkan layanannya pada Januari.
The Communications and Informatics Ministry said that SATRIA-1 will provide the much-needed internet access in blank spots or areas without internet coverage. The government will provide public Wi-Fis to ensure equitable and free internet access.
Furthermore, here is a brief info on the location, rocket type, as well as trajectory for the launch of Indonesia's SATRIA-1 satellite from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Orlando, Florida, United States of America.
All right, the launch of Indonesia's SATRIA-1 satellite is a result of great collaboration between the government and visionary companies. All the stakeholders involved are paving the way for better connectivity, narrowing digital gap, and creating new opportunities in many sectors, so across the country. So the stakeholders in SATRIA-1 satellite launch are Thales Alenia Space from France, is a French satellite manufacturer that has been operating for over 40 years in the aerospace industry. So there's also SpaceX, the US-based space transportation built by tycoon Elon Musk, developer of Falcon rockets, reusable launching vehicles for satellites. There's also the Northwest China Research Institute of Electronic Equipment, Traders, and Hughes Network Systems.
Hello, and you're still watching TVR World Special Report on the launch of SATRIA-1 satellite from Cape Canaveral, Florida, United States of America. With me, Audrey Toyo.
And I'm Aisha Fabian, where we are here in Jakarta, Indonesia, from our studio. And if we're talking about this satellite that is very, very special, Satellite-1, that is actually in the process of launching. It has been launched, and we will be giving you the live report on this for the next hours. And to know more about SATRIA-1, Audrey, how about you give our viewers here?
Yes, indeed, Aisha. So the Indonesian government will launch, or has launched, a multifunction satellite. It is currently happening, called Indonesia Raya-1, or SMF Satria-1, on Sunday U.S. time at the NASA's rocket launch site in Cape Canaveral, Florida, United States. The following is the profile of the satellite. Take a look. PT Satelite Nusantara 3 and manufactured by Thales Alenia Space of France will be launched using Falcon 9, a rocket made by SpaceX. It is expected to start operating later this year and run for 15 years. It will be the biggest internet satellite in Asia with a capacity of 450 Gbps.
And the satellite functions will reach more than 500,000 public services, including 93,000 schools and Islamic boarding schools in Indonesia, and of course to support remote learning and computer-based examination tests, and gives internet access to public health centers, hospitals, and security points in remote areas. So all Indonesian areas will be covered by this satellite.
Okay, well, now that we have more information on the SATRIA-1 satellite, just before, Aisha, we witnessed that there's the first stage of the launch has commenced.
Yes, it has been released, and the first stage has actually went back to Earth, and the landing was very, very smooth. And we, from the first stage to the second stage until the satellite SATRIA-1 is being deployed, it takes about 20 minutes. So how about we see the live visual from there in Cape Canaveral, Florida, United States.
Yes, we can see more updates. Currently it's T+20 minutes since the first began on the first launch. And as you said, Aisha, it's a successful landing back on Earth. They said that this is the 12th successful landing. And I think that's incredible. And also seeing this today, it makes us absolutely excited to see in the next, I think we're going to wait a couple more minutes or 10, 15 more minutes for the second stage of the launch.
Yes, we can also see the countdown over there. And if you can check out also from the SpaceX.com website, there's the countdown after the first stage entry burn ends, and then the second stage engine counter cutoff. The first stage landing burn start, and then the first stage landing, which already happened as well. And now we are at the second stage engine start. and we'll be waiting for the second stage engine cutoff, and then finally the SATRIA-1 will deploy.
So it takes, I would say, a lot of stages,
Yeah.
Aisha, from the beginning, I would say, I mean, not counting the preparation for this momentous event, but from the beginning of the launch of this satellite, even on site in Florida, and until it's fully integrated and is up there, it takes a while. It's not just in one go. It turns out it takes stages to get there.
Yes, exactly. And also they have done some pre-launch process as well, and the preparations. I remember the very first stage where the Indonesian government met with Elon Musk about a year ago. And then they had the talk and finally got a deal with SpaceX to use the Falcon 9 to launch our own satellite from Indonesia. That happened to be the biggest in Asia and one from the top 5 biggest satellite in the world.
Yes, and we believe that this cooperation between Indonesia as well as SpaceX will furthermore advance our digital economy as well as, I would say, bridge the digital divide in Indonesia, because that's one of the purposes of this satellite, is to provide more internet access as well as, I would say, opportunities for people around Indonesia. And Aisha, being a country that has some of the most populations in the world, I would say that us only having 70, 80, 90% of internet access is most definitely not enough, right? And so like this today, the launch of the satellite will not only influence, I would say it will not only be a great impact in Indonesia, but also to our population.
Exactly. And not only, as we discussed before, not only for the big cities, but the remote cities, that might be the main focus here as well.
Yeah, the remote areas and villages. And I think that's what is mostly needed here. And one of the things that the minister said is that he hopes that this can also increase our digital economy. And digital economy meaning using technology for things such as selling goods and services, and or giving opportunities for people to work alongside also with technology and also with education, right? I think that's really important, because now that, Aisha, we're in a digitalized area, how could we, even with the pandemic, everybody's on Zoom, and right now you're watching this also online, like how could we not have that as well as like an essential access for Indonesia?
Yes, like from the education sector, the health sector is also very important. And if we can sum up if we can do it in one sentence, the government said that this launch and the function for Satellite-1 is to provide internet access, a high-speed internet access to all Indonesians.
And I think that is definitely something that we all are hopeful about, and we are all looking forward to. And so I'm so glad, Aisha, to be here today and to be watching this launch live, because we know that it's going to bring so much good.
And so, as we know, that SATRIA-1 is a collaborative project, and PT Pacific Satellite Nusantara, the first private satellite company in Indonesia, ensures that the ground segment infrastructure is ready to operate ahead of the launch of the Satellite Republik Indonesia, or SATRIA-1, from Cape Canaveral, Florida, the U.S. This Sunday, U.S. time, that is happening now.
The ground segment infrastructure, such as the Primary Control Center and the Network Operations Center, which are located in Cikarang, West Java, as well as the backup control station located in Banjarmasin, South Kalimantan, are 100% ready. The communication network and other supporting infrastructure are also ready to support the launch of SATRIA-1 satellite, so that there will be no elements that have the potential to cause delays. President Director of PSN, Adi Rahman Adiwoso, says that the launch of SATRIA-1 satellite would be an extraordinary achievement for Indonesia, because this is the largest multifunctional satellite in Asia and the 5th in the world. The readiness of the ground segment infrastructure is an important element in supporting the successful launch of SATRIA-1. In the SATRIA-1 satellite project, PSN has prepared 11 Earth stations or gateways spread across a number of regions in Indonesia. The SATRIA-1 satellite is produced by a French space manufacturing company, Thales Alenia Space, or TAS. The satellite production began in September 2020 until May 2023. Satellite with a total transmission capacity of 150 gigabyte per second will be launched on a Falcon 9 rocket owned by Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, or SpaceX, from Cape Canaveral, Florida, in the US this Sunday. The SATRIA satellite will be the first satellite in Indonesia to use Very High Throughput Satellite, or VHTS, technology and K-band frequencies. The satellite is also strengthened with 116 spot beams so that internet services can reach all parts of Indonesia, especially disadvantaged, frontier, and outermost or 3T regions. This satellite is expected to be able to facilitate internet connection for public services such as educational facilities, local governments, security and defense administration, and health facilities.
So, furthermore, SATRIA-1 satellite was launched atop SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Launch Complex 40 in Florida, USA. And here is a brief profile of SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and Cape Canaveral Space Launch Complex. Take a look.
Falcon 9 is a partially reusable medium-lift launch vehicle that can carry cargo and crew into Earth orbit. Designed, manufactured, and launched by American aerospace company SpaceX. It can also be used as an expandable heavy-lift launch vehicle. The first Falcon 9 launch was in June 2010. In 2020, it became the first commercial rocket to ever launch humans to orbit and is currently the only such vehicle capable of doing so. It is the only U.S. rocket currently certified for transporting humans to the International Space Station, or ISS. In 2020, it became the U.S. rocket with the most launches in history and with the best safety record, having suffered just one flight failure. Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, built in 1950, and Space Launch Complex 40 is a launch pad for rockets located at the north end of Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, the United States. After 2007, the U.S. Air Force leased the complex to SpaceX to launch the Falcon 9 rocket. As of August 2022, there have been 93 launches of the Falcon 9 from the complex. The site was heavily damaged following the September 2016 Falcon 9 Flight 29 incident due to a catastrophic failure during a static fire test. The complex was repaired and returned to operational status in December 2017. 889 rockets have launched from Cape Canaveral.
That was about the Cape Canaveral Space Station in Florida, United States. And now we want to have a live cross with our reporter Zulhafiz Tadore back at Taman Mini Indonesia Indah, where he will meet some people, also some experts, to have the insights about the launch today as well, Audrey. Zulhafiz, can you hear us?
Yes, of course, Aisha.
Okay, hi, welcome back. And what do you have for us now?
Well, Aisha and Audrey, we recently saw the launch of Satria-1 or Satellite of Republic Indonesia, and it was really amazing. It was captivating for me especially, and I believe all the audience that are coming today, gathered here at the Taman Mini Indonesia in the theme park, are also captivating with the launch of the Satria-1 or Satellite Republic Indonesia. And I'm gonna take you to see, or we're gonna talk a little bit or listen to one of the audience here that joining me now is from the representatives of Putri Indonesia 2023. Joining me now is the Veronica Angelina Windy Hapsari and Marsha Rarentewan as the representatives of Putri Indonesia. And also let me talk first with Marsha Rarentewan. So Marsha, how are you today? I mean, we came a little bit, since the early morning here at the Taman Mini Indonesia in the theme park. How did you feel about the launch of Satria-1?
Oh my God, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and of course, we're very proud of this event, right?
Yeah. And okay, so after Marsha, I'm going to talk to Veronica. Veronica, how did you feel about the launch of the Satria-1?
Hi, I feel very honored to be here because I think this is a good start for Indonesia's development to bring connectivity around the nation.
Yes, we are truly honored and thrilled that we are, gathering here to witness such a historic event. Yeah, do you agree? And I mean, if I can touch a little bit, how do you wish, or what are the wishes that are coming from the representatives of Putri Indonesia?
Yeah, I hope with this successful event, we can bring connectivity across the nation, and we can bring the underprivileged province of Indonesia to have more access to the internet. So I am so grateful for this successful event and so thankful for the Kominfo.
Of course, and thank God our satellite, the Satria, has successfully launched, and of course the rocket are successfully landed back again to the Earth for the sustainable reason, of course, as we know.
And yes, Aisha, so as I mentioned earlier, Aisha and Audrey, we as an audience here, even though we are watching, virtually, not in Florida in the United States, but we felt the, the ambience. We are captivating by this historic event. And I believe this connectivity, as I mentioned in the early morning, in the beginning, that this event remarks the connectivity across Indonesia, and we hope every Indonesia will be connected like never before. And also, Aisha and Audrey, the impact of Satria-1 extends for beyond technology, as it promotes education, healthcare, and also the economic growth. And also, it will empower the entrepreneurs, bridge the digital divide, and foster innovation across industries. And I believe that all Indonesians are proud to be witness this historic event. In the meantime, I'm Zulhafiz Tadore with the representatives of Putri Indonesia 2023, saying thank you so much for watching this live cross, and our camera person Arya Tanudata reporting live from the Taman Mini Indonesia in the theme park. Back to you now, Audrey and Aisha.
Thank you, Zulhafiz. He looks more nervous to be together with the Putri Indonesias more than the launch from Satria-1 satellite.
Yes, thank you so much, Zulhafiz, for your report, and as well as the comments from the representatives of Putri Indonesia. Now we go back to our report.
Yes, and so Audrey, it is very, very exciting as we can feel the excitement from Zulhafiz, where he reports. It is happening now that the Communication and Informatics Ministry is having the live viewing. So there are invitees there to witness together the launch of Satria-1, as we are now also airing live from our studio to our viewers at home. And we can see this is the live visual. Again, we are connected with the Rocket 9 from SpaceX.
Yes, indeed, Aisha. Now we have a look at the preparation to start the second stage of the launch. It is T plus 36 minutes, which means that it will launch soon. As we have just seen the launch of the first stage, and now the second stage is just waiting for the satellite to be deployed.
Payload separation confirmed.
And there you can see on your screen the payload drifting away from our stage 2. We had successful deployment of the PSN SATRIA payload. And with that confirmation, we will bring today's webcast to a close. Today's mission marked SpaceX's 240th overall mission to date and 41st mission of this year. We'd really like to thank our customer PSN for entrusting us with today's mission and all of you for joining us. We'd also like to wish everyone a wonderful Father's Day, and we'll see you next time.
So apparently, the SATRIA-1 has been deployed successfully, Audrey.
It has been deployed successfully, yes. Wow, that is exciting news, Aisha.
That is. And we heard before that it's the 41st, this is the 41 times the SpaceX has launched a satellite this year. And there will be like upcoming satellite launch in the future. But the launch of SATRIA-1 is very, very special because there will be other satellites that is very dependent on the success of SATRIA-1.
And as well as, I think for Indonesia, this is the first satellite that we currently have right now. And Aisha, it will be the biggest in Asia and also number 5 in terms of world capacity. Isn't that amazing?
It is, it is. Well, after this launch and the satellite SATRIA-1 has been deployed, it actually cannot be used immediately, Audrey, but because there is still more than 100 days until the satellite reach the orbit. In about 6 more months, or hopefully by the end of this year, or maybe January 2024, early stage, the new satellite can be utilized and reach its purposes to have and provide internet access for Indonesian, all Indonesian, anywhere.
Yes, and so I guess we just have to be patient until we wait for the satellite to land there and be able to function as well. So it's going to take a couple of months. And continuing on that, after this momentous event, just more information on this. The Communication and Informatics Ministry has also set the target date to operate the SATRIA-1 satellite in early 2024, as we've discussed before. The satellite that is called the Satelite Republik Indonesia will reach its orbit after the construction of the Earth Receiver Station is completed.
Sri Sangrama Aradea, the SATRIA-1 satellite project spokesperson, said in the statement on Saturday that the satellite would be going through several phases before its initial operations. Aradea, who is also the head of Ministry's Satellite Division at Telecommunication and Information Accessibility Agency, or BACTI, said that Earth receiver stations should be ready first before the satellite starts to operate. In addition to this, the project will ensure the terminal for internet access in public spots post-launching will be activated. Under the plan, in the first phase, the ministry's BACTI agency will provide internet access to 50,000 spots of public services across the country once the satellites start operating. The public services include schools, public health centers or puskesmas, and hospitals, as well as regional administration offices. In the next phase, the ministry will ensure that access will be adjusted to the public needs. The ministry will also monitor the availability of internet access provided by private companies to calculate recent capacity needed across the country.
Still feeling the excitement, Satellite-Republik Indonesia or SATRIA-1 that has just been deployed is a functioning satellite or SMF, designed specially for internet connections, the biggest in Asia with 150 Gbps capacity. So however, it will take more than 100 days to reach the orbit. So here's the explanation.
After launch, SATRIA-1 will not immediately be usable. There is still more than 100 days until the satellite reached orbit. In about 6 more months, or in January 2024, the new satellite can be utilized. Satelit Nusantara 3 CEO Adi Rahman Adiwoso explained that SATRIA-1 is a highly modern satellite that utilizes electric thrusters, not rocket propulsion, to reach orbit. With this system, Satria requires approximately 145 days to reach orbit. At a press conference last week, Adiwoso stated that from point A, SATRIA-1 will be released by the launcher using 4 small plasma electric fuel thruster, and it will take 145 days to reach orbit. He explained that the use of 4 small plasma electric fueled rockets is intended to keep SATRIA-1 from being too heavy, allowing it to accommodate a number of equipment and reach 150 gigabyte per second capacity. These small rockets are not too heavy because they do not run on chemical fuel. Adiwoso mentioned that after launch, the new satellite will reach orbit around November. And afterward, they will conduct testing on the entire satellite system. Then SATRIA-1 will likely be functional by the end of this December and ready to provide its services in January of next year.
Well, those were some details more about the satellite or Satellite-Republik Indonesia. And today, Aisha, on this day, we have just seen a historical event for Indonesia on the launching of the SATRIA-1 satellite. What a great and wonderful day it is.
It is. It is a very wonderful start of the day, even very early in the morning, but we just witnessed history. The SATRIA-1 satellite is already been launched and deployed, but it will take about like 100 days until it reaches the orbit. And hopefully it will be functioning by the end of this year and provide all internet access to all Indonesians anywhere.
Yes, we do hope that from this launch, Aisha, and what also the ministers have also said, that this will be the next step for Indonesia to bridge the digital divide that we have, to improve our digital economy, and also to provide more equal access to the internet for the Indonesian population.
Yes, not only helping in every sector, from the economy, there's the health sector, and also education. That is
and defense. Yes,
and defense especially as well. And this launch from SATRIA-1 from Indonesia, we are very proud to be Indonesians because it will set the benchmark as it's very, very groundbreaking satellite. SATRIA-1 is the biggest in Asia and still top 5 in the world.
Yes. Well, I think this has been an amazing, momentous event and day for all of us and Indonesians. And thank you so much for watching this special report on the launch of SATRIA-1 satellite. We do have great hopes for the future that this will continue to advance Indonesia. I'm Audrey Toyo.
And I am Aisha Fabian. Thank you for watching TVRI World's special report. See you again and goodbye.